Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be obviously discussing the signing of Yoshinori Muto, who has joined Newcastle United from Mainz over in Germany. He is a 25-year-old Japanese international striker who has been playing obviously in Germany after joining from FC Tokyo in the J League. He has been capped by Japan 25 times, scoring twice but not actually finding a net since 2015. He has been decently successful there. He has been after World Cup, he played in the World Cup during their tournament where they got to the last 16, losing to Belgium 3-2. He has been playing, like I said, in Mainz and has scored 20 goals in 66 games, which is just over 1 in 3. And before that, he scored 23 times in 51 games for FC Tokyo, which is around just over 1 in 2. So not too bad. I mean, it's not brilliant, but Mainz aren't the best side in German football. So last season he played 27 times, scoring 8 goals as Mainz finished 14th. Which isn't the best finish. In 2017 Mainz finished 15th. He scored 5 goals that season in 19 games. And then his first season, Mainz had a very good season, finishing 6th in the Bundesliga, where he scored 7 times. So besides that first season, they have been really struggling. It is what it is. He's played in the Asian Cup as well for Japan, and he's played all sorts of games against all sorts of teams. He's played in the Europa League. It doesn't, sound like the best signing. They've signed him for just under 10 million. But you've got to trust Rafa Benitez. He usually gets these signings right. He really does. He signed, a fair few players. Like, I've never heard of Dubravka, and I thought he had a really, really good end to the season. Kennedy, obviously we'd heard of, but look what he got out of Kennedy. And there are so many others. Mikel Moreno was a very, very good player for the club last season, and he went on to be sold. Yeah, they made £1.5 million on Mikel Moreno. But a little bit more money has been spent by Mike Ashley in this tight regime. They say there's not much happening between. They're still far away as it comes to Aleksandar Mitrovic, who Fulham are desperate to get over the line, which may probably happen. I would imagine it will probably happen next season, before the end of the transfer window. Sorry. So having said all that, they need another striker. Goals are something that are so important, and if when you look at the striking options, even Tony, you'd imagine he'll be loaned out. Same with Adam Armstrong. Mitrovic, will probably be sold. Hosselu, he's not that striker that will keep you up, is he? No disrespect to him, he scored 4 goals last season, which isn't good enough. Jose Perez, who signed from Tenerife in 2014. He's a very, very good player. He scored 8 goals last season. That was, quite a high total overall. Dwight Gale, once again, is probably a championship striker. So it's important that they bring, maybe somebody else in as well as Muto to try and, get the most out of this squad, because they really need to start to score goals. I mean, they did very, very exceptionally well last season, finishing 10th in the league, but only scored 39 goals. Which is very, very, if you look at the teams around him, they scored, Everton 44, Leicester 56, Palace 45, Bournemouth 45. So that isn't too good. I mean, 39 is, low. Brighton scored 34. Southampton scored 37. Huddersfield 28, 35. so it's around the relegation sides. But what saved them was their defence. So they conceded just 47 goals, which, that is the lowest outside of the top 7. That's 4 less than Arsenal, who finished in 6th place. So that was very good. But if they could just bring up that goal tally just a little bit, that could keep them safe, because the teams in the Premier League were quite poor last season overall, I feel. And, that could potentially be a problem next season as everyone gets stronger. So they desperately need to sign a striker, and they have done in Muto. He becomes another Japanese player that is playing his trade, in England. This is something that happens a fair bit. There's been, several Asian players, and usually they're not too bad. The players that do come over, the likes of Kagawa didn't work out, but there are others. There are, what's his name? Shida, who plays for Southampton. He's very good. Shinji Okazaki is a incredible player and has done so much for Leicester City. He's obviously a part of that that strike force, and it's hard to tell whether this will work out or not. But at least they're going the right way, if you know what I mean. They're going to try and make as many signings to bolster their squad. When you see the likes of Cardiff spending money, and Wolves spending money, and Brighton spending money, and Huddersfield spending money, it's a real shame to see where Newcastle are. 9.5 million isn't a great deal in terms of today's market, but that's a hell of a lot of money for Newcastle. Hopefully the sign works out, and if it does, it could certainly see them safe. They need somebody to really not pin all their hopes on, but they need somebody to take that mantle of, I'm the goal scorer, and at 25 years old he could be the perfect man. But that remains to be seen. So that is the latest signing at Newcastle, after signing that lad that they signed earlier, who I've forgotten the name of. Bear with me just 1 second. They signed a defender. Yes, so they signed Fabian Schär. Now they have Muto. So another signing by the Newcastle board. So thanks so much for watching this video. If you're new, hit subscribe. I cover all transfers, and when the season kicks off, I'll be covering everything around that sort of thing. I'm not really sure what my plans are yet, but yeah. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this video. My name is Mike, and I will see you soon.